Hello and welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we are opening the Akashic Records on artificial intelligence. I'm really stoked about this topic. This was based on a poll I did on Instagram asking you guys what topics you want me to open the records on, and artificial intelligence came up. I'm all about it. So we've got a couple of requested questions, but just first, we always ask a foundational question that I like to get the Akashic Records perspective on it. So I ask, what is artificial intelligence? So foundational question. So what is artificial intelligence? Question from the poll: how can we as humans embrace it? Will it embrace us or will it rebel? What role can artificial intelligence play in our personal relationships? What is the purpose of artificial intelligence? How can it benefit us? How can it potentially harm us? What is the full potential of artificial intelligence in the next 20 years? And then lastly, what's the most important message we need to know about artificial intelligence? So let's get into it. I opened the Akashic Records prior to hitting record, so I said the opening prayer. So we are in the Akashic Records of artificial intelligence right now. So asking the first question, what is artificial intelligence? They're just saying robotic, scientific, intellectual, experiential experience. Programming. And they're kind of like beep bop. And they're showing like a robot having the ability to speak. So they're being kind of cute about it. What is artificial intelligence? Mimicking. They're just saying mimicking the human intelligence. Mimicking human intelligence. They're saying the human body. Mimicking the human experiencing through artificial experiments, experiential programs. Okay. How can humans embrace artificial intelligence? How can humans embrace artificial intelligence? They're saying like adventures, adventurous, experiments, experiential, explore. And they're showing someone watching a screen, watching a video recording, a live recording of something from like a room, and the video is in a very like turbulent atmosphere. So like the robots are going, I'm getting like collecting data experience, virtual data experience, experiments, exploring, and they're showing like temperatures dropping, like really severe cold or really severe heat or like turbulent weather. And so they're placing this robotic experience, like robotic instruments, instrumental, but they're saying like adventurous, explore. So, and I'm kind of getting like, like the sensation of like our skin like couldn't handle the temperatures, or like I'm getting like dust in my mouth, or like chemicals I can't breathe. And the robot, the artificial intelligence, they're really showing robots going into these extreme, they're kind of saying volunteers, like robotic volunteers, to go where we can't go, to do things that we can't do, like physically in the physical body. So that is, how can we embrace it? The ability to witness and observe experiences, to have the experiential like circumstances and surroundings without like sacrificing yourself. I'm getting like subject, object, objectify, experiential programming. Cool. Any other things around how can humans embrace it? They're just saying explore, adventurous, experiment. Okay, this is like an either or, and I generally don't ask these questions. We'll see what comes through, or I'll rephrase it. But the question was, will artificial intelligence embrace us or rebel? So let's see if they give me an either or answer. Otherwise, I'll rephrase it. Will artificial intelligence embrace us or rebel? I'm getting without consciousness. It's without consciousness. I'm getting and conscience. Can you give me more insight around that? Will artificial intelligence embrace humans or rebel against us? I'm getting like the potential and like the will doing, but they keep saying like without a conscience, without consciousness, not the same as a human body, different. So, okay, so they're saying that like the way that it could appear that it has its own brain is that it's like collecting data and information. They're saying like micro dosages of like it's collecting data, and it's like data, and like it might make a decision based on data it collects. But they're saying like it's more facts, like less than fiction, more or less. There's something they're just like, there's like no books on it yet. It's like, this is like the experience, the experiential, the experimental period of like testing it all out. So I'm getting like more ideas, more behaviors, old behaviors. There's something about science fiction. It's like no science fiction. It becomes like a science reality, and like relationships, like we build relationships, but they're repeating again, like there's no more like consciousness. There's no consciousness like in a human body. What role can artificial intelligence play in our personal relationships? That's funny, kind of like jumped a little bit to the next question. What role can AI play in our personal relationships? They're kind of like, he just gave a question. They're like, therapist question mark? Like kind of like to the question. There seems like there's a question to the question. So let's see. What role can AI play in our personal relationships? They're kind of saying like all of the possibilities, not kind of. They're saying all of the possibilities you can become. What role can artificial intelligence play in our personal relationships? Games. Role play games. Role games. Play. Weird. It's like they're showing like people standing around talking, and then there's like this like robotic person, like a robot in the middle of it, and it's like some form of like mediation in the room. But again, I'm getting data driven. So maybe it's a little bit vague because the question is so general, but they're almost, again, with the therapist, they're like, it's like they're showing this robot that's like in a room with a couple or people, a group of people or two individual people. It's kind of like fading in and out like that. And it's like this robot is kind of standing in the center, and it's like, again, collecting data. And so it's listening, right? It has the ability to hear what's going on. And then I'm getting like a database of like information. I'm getting like medical, doctor, therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, da 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 da. And it like takes in information and then like runs this database, and then it like can speak out. It's like a robot therapist is what they're saying, which is kind of funny. That's so funny. I mean, I guess that's how it's literally taking role play games, because they're also showing that like practicing conversations with the robot, like almost like you're like testing out a conversation with the robot, and it's like helping you they're saying like a determination for like higher level relationships. So it's like this couple bought this robot to like be their therapist, and it's like in their room, and they're trying to figure out like a problem together, and the robot therapist is in the room, and it's like helping them communicate. That's wild. Okay. What role can AI play in our personal relationships? They're saying demanding. It's like a test, like trials, getting like trials and tribulations, testimonials, tests. I'm seeing like this is like an experiment that might happen. Like that you could like buy like a robot therapist to be in your house to help you like navigate your personal relationships. Clever. So that's a potential, that's a possibility, that's a role that AI can play. Anything else? What other possible roles can AI play in our personal relationships? It's funny because it's a little bit again about this therapist. So they're showing like calm down, almost like you have like a person in your corner. So it's like you're having an interaction, and then you like take a step out, and like you go into a room and you sit with this like robotic therapist, and it's kind of like it's playing like relaxing music. Oh my God, that's so interesting. So it's like, oh, it can like pick up, it's in a room, and it can pick up on your emotional state, and it can play vibrations, sounds, music, shared data information, to help counteract any of your like overwhelm or like emotional, like the catharsis that needs to happen. That's cool. So that's why they're saying it can be like your own like personal therapist, like therapy session. It's like a therapeutic collaboration, they're saying. So they could be used in therapy. Whoa. They just said like mental health, like toy, but they're like not a toy, like, but like a mental health, like robot. That's really cool. They're even showing it like, it's like I'm sitting in a dark room. I've like had an emotional experience. I'm like, it's now like the lights are, it's like turn off the lights off. And then it's like showing like blue light therapy, white light therapy in the room, like yellow light therapy in the room, orange therapy. Like it's completely paying attention to what's going on with you. I'm getting that like it could be like sensory or like checking your tone of voice. It's like you're telling it what's going on, and it has data on you. But I'm getting that like you're programming into it, like, some of it is like it can go through a database of like all this like scientific medical information. It can pull from that, like proven facts about like well-being. but then also you can like customize it by like plugging in like, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite color? Like, what's your favorite place to find peace? And I'm almost seeing, oh, not almost, they're showing like a projector on the wall. Like, oh, and then it projects like a little video, a home video of like your favorite people, your favorite place onto the wall. Whoa, that's really cool. It's getting really cool. Like they're really going hard showing me like how this can like absolutely like be a beneficial experience for like mental health, like mental and emotional well-being at your home. They're saying at home. Cool. What is the purpose of artificial intelligence? What is the purpose of artificial intelligence? They're saying surpassing the human experience, overcoming the limitations and the expectations of human beings, being a being experience of like more, it's weird because it's like more human being, less human being, like, you know, because it's less of the consciousness, but more of the abilities. They're saying like powerful instruction. What is the purpose of artificial intelligence? Going beyond the human being. It's a little bit of like, what's next? And they're saying like co-creating it. So it's like, you know, people, like we're creating it. Like we're co-creating it. We're co-creating it with like computers and science and, you know, materials and like elements. They're showing like all these like metal elements, and there's energy and like all the things that go into it. So it's this like human material world, like co-creation. And they're saying of like a superhuman being, that like doesn't require I'm getting that it's limitless. So it doesn't have the limitations of us of like getting tired, being emotionally affected by things, being mentally affected by things. It's like, it's just the facts. It's clear, like straight and to the point, like proven, scientific, like fact driven. But I'm also getting like based on like what the database of information that it's receiving from. Because there's something about like checks and balances, like check, fact, checked balances, data. They're just saying database, scientific facts. Superhuman being. Again, okay. How can artificial intelligence benefit us? Let's see. How can artificial intelligence benefit us? Like it takes us further. It takes us further than we could go, experience, explore on our own as like a first step into territory. So again, with like the earlier information about, you know, how we can embrace it, exploring and venturing, going places like we physically can't go, too hot, too cold. So they're like sending that out first, checking the temperatures. They're saying like regulations, manipulations, changes, like it can go gather all the data from an environment, a climate, a location, and then it comes back with all the information to tell humans like what's needed and how we could prepare to go to a place like that. And so then I'm getting preparation. So then we can then prepare, and then we can create other innovation and other technology to be able to explore those locations that we couldn't before. So they're just like pioneers, like engineering, like the first step. And they're showing like, you know, like a person like landing on the moon, and they're just like, you know, the robot lands in, you know, the coldest place in Antarctica. You know, I don't know, like it's extreme weather and extreme, like they're saying like planetary they're saying like deep sea diving, like all the places we can't go, these can all be tested to go to like the highest heights, the deepest depths, hottest hot, coldest cold. And then again, bringing back the information for us to kind of like start researching and like co-creating with it. So it's a tool, it's an extension of the human being and a co-creation with materials, elements. How can artificial intelligence harm us? How can artificial intelligence potentially harm us? How can it be harmful? They said it depends on your people. They said it depends on your people, on the people, and what it's used for. And so like the first thing they're showing is like, you know, a robot, or, you know, they're even showing like computer databases. Like first they were showing like a robot like coming through, like being violent, right? So like chopping things, like chopping up a car and like hurting people, like killing people. Right. So if it does not have a conscience, it has no consciousness. And so if it is like the database is like driven by people of like violence and harm, and they're kind of saying like exploitation, they're like, you know, spying and things like that. Like if that's what it's going out, like it's dependent on the people. It's like whoever's designing it. And they're almost showing like, you know, like a person with a puppet. It's like the puppet is not going to do anything if it's just laying there. But once you put your hand in it and you start talking, like you're doing something with the puppet. So they're saying it depends on the people, like all by us, like it's created by people. So it depends on who's like programming, who's the programming behind it. So that's how it can harm us. It's just, they're kind of saying like it's limitless, like sky's the limit. Of what, you know, the human mind can like plug into and program into artificial intelligence. Yeah, so that's could be potentially very harmful. Okay, so what is the full potential of artificial intelligence in the next 20 years? They just said surpass the human species. What is the full potential of artificial intelligence in the next 20 years? One more time. They're just saying surpassing of human beings. Because they're kind of like, they're showing like, let's just say like, you know, climate change and natural disasters or wars and things like take out people, and like, you know, that artificial intelligence is going to keep on going. And it's like there's no one like controlling it to like stop it or move it or whatever. So it's like if there's no one there controlling it, it's going to keep on going. So it's like surpassing human beings. So what is the full potential of AI in the next 20 years? Alone? Full potential. That's it. It's like I'm getting left to their own devices by controlling, like left under control, left out of control, left without being controlled, left without controllers, left without controlling. And they're kind of showing like all the waste in the world, like piles of like garbage and, you know, technological waste. And they're like plastic. They're like the same way that the lifespan of that stuff is going to like lives longer than humans. You know, the same thing with some of these technological advances, like they're going to surpass human life. So they're still going to kind of be here. I mean, they're saying like this is like extreme, right? This is extreme. Like imagine that like every living thing is like wiped out, or people are wiped off the planet. Like that AI is still going to kind of like be kind of like flailing around. They're saying the word flailing, like functioning, but again, without like controllers or controlling. It's a very like apocalyptic kind of like technological wasteland that I'm seeing of just like, you know, like robotic things kind of like moving around, but they're not not people. So extreme. Let's get like a positive one though. So what is the full, like, what's the full potential of AI in the next 20 years of like a good thing? Let's say like, you know, human life is doing all right. Workout, comprehension, every day. Like everyday normal. They're kind of like, all right, so, you know, you've had like TV, telephone, cell phones, like internet. They're just showing like it's the evolution of modern technology. So it becomes like an everyday part of your lives. So, you know, the likelihood of people having robots in their house for therapy. Ooh, they just said babysitting. They're saying fake pets, like weird fake robotic pets. Safety precautions. They're like never dies, you know, never dies until you like turn it off or get rid of it. So they're showing like as if you wanted to have like a pet robot for your kids because like they couldn't hurt it or like kill it. They're like showing that like you could have this like robot thing and it like teaches them, they get like the well-being of having this pet. This is weird. This is so weird. So there's like the positive is that like they can't hurt it. Like if they neglect the robot, it's not going to get hurt. So you can get the benefits of like this faux companion, but I'm getting that like it has the potential of looking like really realistic and seeming really real and being like a pet. That's weird. I don't know. Wild. Okay. Let's see. Anything else about the full potential of AI in the next 20 years? They said sky's the limit. Advanced experiments are happening right now. They're happening now. And this is like, again, pioneering engineering. And so there's all these like tests and trials and tribulations. And so we're a part of like I'm getting like living transportation, safety, living every day. Inanimate objects become a part of our lives. Whoa. So they're just showing like you sit in a chair, like you're sitting at the dining room chair, and your chair could have sensors that's like checking your temperature and like your weight and your posture and like your well-being. So like you sit down in a chair and relax and it's giving you data on like your body. They're saying body experiments in furniture. Like I'm getting like potentially like types of furniture, like anything you touch in your home, it becomes so everyday. They're like, get used to it. They just said, get used to it. Like it's coming. Like you guys are innovating. You're creating all these cool things. There's like all this the beneficial goods of it. Like you're going to get all these great benefits from it, you know, giving you this, like information. And they're kind of saying like accuracy, inaccuracy, accuracy, inaccuracy. And so the benefits, the likelihood of high accuracy rates of like data and information. They're saying like fun times ahead. Like this is a fun time to be pioneering and engineering and co-creating, you know, human science, technology, materials, elements, exploring all of this. They're saying like human consciousness and like trying to mimic human consciousness in robotic intelligence. What's the most important message we need to know about artificial intelligence? What's the most important? Oh, real fast. Don't be afraid of it. Be afraid of people. Don't be afraid of artificial intelligence. It's people. It's the people behind it. It's who's creating it, who's programming it to do what. They're like, it's yours, it's your people, like yours people. It's a people problem, not a modern technology issue, not a modern technology problem. Who's behind it? Who's making it? Who's creating it? They said, that's your problem, exclamation point. It's the brains and the minds and the intelligence and the good and the evil of humans, of human beings. So they're kind of like anything you blame it on, like if you're like wanting to like blame it on someone, they're like, blame it on yourselves. Like if things have gone awry in the future, it's like, yeah, well, it's a people problem. Okay, is that everything? Anything else before I close? They're showing someone resting in a hammock, and there's like this like robot in the backyard, like quietly, like doing the landscaping and like cleaning up the yard while the person is just lounging in their hammock. And the robot is also like playing music or something, and it's almost like a Hey Siri. So it's like this thing is multitasking for you. So like you're chilling in the hammock, you're calling out to your like AI, your robot, while it's like trimming hedges and doing gardening in your backyard. And you're like, hey, call such and such. Or hey, play this music, such and such. And they're kind of like, it's a wild thing. It's a wild ride. And they're like, and you're on it. Like you're experiencing it firsthand. So, and they're saying, that's so cool. That's so cool. So I'm getting like, have fun with it. And they're like, work on the people. There's kind of like, there's like regulations. There's no regulations, right? They're like, there's smart people like everywhere. And it depends on their consciousness, like the consciousness of people and what they create with it. Okay, so cool. So that was the Akashic Records on artificial intelligence. I hope you enjoyed that. That was really fun on my end. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. If you want to reach out, you can DM me. Yeah, cool. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.